Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? We rocking it, we rocking it. Big rain, everything going on. We still out here, still put the work in. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. Trump, big beautiful bill, guys. That's what they've been debating and talking about all morning. And the China-Trump deal. They say it's a deal on the table. Let me know what y'all think about what y'all heard this morning. If you joined the lives this morning, you pretty much heard everything that was going on. Pretty much heard everything that's in that big beautiful bill, as they call it. That's what they call it, the big beautiful bill. There's a lot of things in that bill that's not really on the front run, like the no tax on tips and overtime. From my interpretation of it, it's in there as temporary. It's in there as a temporary, not forever. It's temporary. So we got a lot of things we got to pay attention to when it comes to what's in that bill, right? A lot of some cutback on spending, not as aggressive as some might want it to be, but it's some temporary spending in there. I mean, it's some cutbacks on spending, and like if you got medicated food stamps of that nature, the work requirements are going to be a little bit more, right? So a lot of people are going to be losing their medicated food stamps. You know, a lot of people are going to be losing that stuff. So we got to be aware of that, and we got to educate the people that don't really know what's coming. But I'm quite sure mostly everybody should know what's going on by now. Yeah, the China deal is supposed to be going through. The China deal is supposed to be happening, but it's not really what I expected so far, but we still got to wait to see how it's going to roll out. Earth minerals, you know, in exchange for Chinese kids get to go to school for free and get educated for free over here. That's what they're saying right now. So we're going to see how that's going to turn out, man. Yeah, it's raining real bad over here. Real bad. You know, but what I like about the main thing that I like what's in there is the Trump accounts for the newborns. I like that a lot. There's three things that I like in there a lot. The tax account for the newborns, the what else? The no tax on overtime, and the no tax on the tips, which we're starting to find out now that those tax breaks are going to be temporary. That's what they're saying right now. It's only for a certain amount of time. So, but you know, you got to look at it, at least they're trying to put some money back in people's pockets. That's one thing that we can pretty much look forward to. And that they're going up, if you got kids, that child credit, I like that too. That child credit is going up to $2,500 per child. So I like that as well. So there's a lot of things in that big, beautiful bill that I like. Of course, they say it's 1,000 pages. You know, I don't have the capabilities of reading the full 1,000 pages, but some of the things that are in there can benefit and help people like right now. Because the last thing we want is for that tax bill that's supposed to expire at the end of 2025. Now, I know for a fact we don't want that. Why? Because it'll go back to those old tax laws where lower class, middle class families was paying a little bit more in taxes. So we don't want to go back to that, because then they'll be taking more money out of your, they'll be taking more money out of your check for income tax. So we don't want that. So we want the new bill to pass. Of course, we got to be thoughtful about it. You ain't gonna agree with everything that's in the bill, bro. That's not the point. It's not gonna satisfy any and everybody, but you got to take the key points up out of there that can benefit you, your family, and your people right now. And I think no tax on overtime can benefit people right now. No tax on tips can benefit people right now. And the main thing that I'm excited about, which is that Trump account, if you got a newborn baby, that can benefit you right now, not just monetarily, but education wise. If you know that, okay, I get $1,000 for a jump start, you know what I'm saying, on my brokerage account or my investment account, then should give everybody the motivation, right? To do what? To keep investing into that account, right? That's what that's for. And I think that's a great thing for long-term generational wealth. Because like they said, 50% of the people don't have no investments, none at all. Really no savings. So of course they don't have no investments. And if you are saving your money, you got to make sure that you should be looking into investing into this stock market, because that will expedite your finances instead of just having money just sitting there that don't collect no interest or nothing at all. You know, you got to be able to build on top of that. Not only financial, but that's things that you could pass down to your kids and grandkids, which I am heavy on that over here. Yeah, I'm heavy on that. So yeah, that's the first thing that I tell people. You gotta pay attention to what's going on. You gotta pay attention to what's going on up top, and what benefits you and your family. You gotta jump on it. Yeah, you gotta jump on it. So I hope y'all having a great day. I'm doing all right. Of course, look, it's been raining and muddy as can be out here, but hey, we still out here putting the work in. So it don't matter if it's rain, sleet, or snow. Nobody's really out here, right? So I mean, I gotta stay 10 toes ahead. I gotta be out here every single day and compete against myself. I gotta be productive every single day, no matter what. I got every single day, 10,000 hours, as I've been saying lately. We gotta put the work in every single day. Every element of your life, you gotta put the work in, bro. That's even with finances, right? So many people talking and tripping about Medicaid and food stamps and welfare. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is a handicap, bro. You know what I'm saying? Once you hear that, hey, they about to cut it, that should give you the motivation to go up and go put the work in. Get up and go put the work in and build something instead of just sitting and waiting for a handout, bro. That's why I'm a full supporter of cutting back on the Medicaid and food stamps and the housing, welfare, in other words. I'm a full believer in that. But as far as the Medicaid goes, I think that they should do free health care for all. But as far as food stamps and housing, man, you should be able to get out and go to work. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and make you some money. If you want to continue to keep this stuff, it should be a cap on that stuff. We'll help you out if you're doing bad, but you got to get a job. You got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to participate in saving. You got to participate in the stock market. You got to show that you're trying to build something, and we're going to only keep you on that stuff for a certain amount of years. After that, it should be terminated, because guess what? I got family members, bro, that are still on that stuff. I'm gonna keep it real. I got a sister, bro. She's 62 years old right now. She's still on housing, Medicaid, still on housing and food stamps, and her kids are grown. She's still on housing right now. She never turned in to the housing people, and guess what? She never want to work. She don't want to do nothing. She don't want to do nothing but do what? Be on the internet, right? Be on Facebook with mess and gossip. You know what I'm saying? Ain't trying to better herself at all. Now she's 62, 63 years old, and she's stuck in her ways. She's stuck in her ways. Her kids, mind me, they're grown. But because the system is so messed up, you know, the computer system of the housing and the welfare, that she's been on housing and welfare. Her kids, one is 30 and the other one is 20. That's how long she's been on housing and welfare. That's how long she's been on welfare. Her kids been grown. Her youngest kid is 20 years old right now. And she's still receiving the free housing. Like the kid is still in the house. Like the kid is 6, 7 years old. Because she never turned it in. She never went up there and told the people, my kids are grown. And that system is not, the capabilities of the system is not to catch everybody. It's not like that. You know, so when I talk about they need to cut that stuff, because I know family members that is my family personally, which I just said my sister, is really, really, really being neglected. Really, really, like she thinks she got it going on, guys. She thinks she got it going on. She's stuck in her ways. So, and I'm quite sure she don't even understand. And see, that's another thing about them type of people. They don't understand that they shit about to get cut till it's too late. And then you know what they do? They go up to the Social Security office and the welfare office with an attitude complaining about their shit getting cut off and why nobody notified them. Because you're not paying attention. Why they not paying attention, Stock Sniper? Because they too busy all in mess, all in gossip, all in the club, getting drunk and smoking weed every single day, waking up at 12 or 1 o'clock in the evening, watching soap operas, watching Wheel of Fortune, watching Netflix all damn day, smoking cigarettes and beer and being messy in the hood, seeing what's gonna go on in the hood for today. Like right now, she's sitting on her porch right now, smoking a cigarette, probably gossiping on the phone, and doing what else? Watching to see what the YNs are doing up and down the street. So it keeps the person trapped, right? She thinks she's getting over. Why? She thinks she's getting over because she's not paying no rent. She ain't got to go to work. She thinks she got it going on. And time is steady passing. She's 60, yeah, she's 63 right now. Yep. And look, guess what she's doing? Not a goddamn thing with her life. So in other words, she's trapped in the system. Trapped in the system, which is a cold lick. That's why they need to have strict requirements on this stuff, bro. They got to get the system built up where the AI has to come in and know exactly when these kids turn 18. She needs to go to work. They need to go to work, right? And this she has a boyfriend, right? That's right there. That's damn near 70 years old. And he's right there sitting right next to her right now, doing the same old thing. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, ain't doing nothing with his life. And drinking a beer every damn day. Ain't doing nothing with his life. So yes, that is wasted spending right there, guys. And I'm saying that about my own sister. Because guess what? She need to get her ass up and she need to take her ass to work. Go to work somewhere. Go to work at Walmart. Go work at the old folks home. Go work somewhere where you can build. Not where she old now, but and to live out the rest of your life. Because guess what? Guess what is really crazy? You've been living off the system for all these decades. And then all of a sudden they cut that shit off. And you ain't got no plans. You ain't got nothing saved up. And all of a sudden it's gone. But first thing they're gonna say is that they didn't give them no notification. Bro, Donald Trump been give us notification, bro. He's been saying this through the whole campaign. But the thing is, the people that worry about mess and gossip and smoke a cigarette all day and sit on the porch, you know what I'm saying, and gossip and worried about what's going on with the YNs in the community, guess what? They ain't even paying attention, bro. It's like they blinded. It's the blind leading the blind. They're blinded to what's really going on. They more concerned about what's going on that Diddy trial, and more concerned about shit that's going on in the hood than what's really happening in real life on this side of America. They're more concerned about that than what's going on the right side of America. So yes, they need to cut that shit, because guess what? Just like I got a sister that's in that position, there's a whole lot of people in that same position. And then guess what happens? Then the kids turn out to be, if not either two ways, the kids gonna turn out. Either the kid gonna say, I don't wanna be nothing like mama, and to be the direct opposite, or the kid gonna be even worse. That's only two things that's gonna happen. Let me say that again. Only one or two things gonna happen out of this situation. Either number one, the kid gonna see and gonna say, man, I don't wanna live like mama. I don't wanna be sitting on that crate on MLK laughing and grinning. You know, I ain't gonna be that person. Smoking three pack of cigarettes every single day, sitting on that crate on MLK. I ain't gonna be that person. I wanna be better than my mom and my daddy. You know, either the kid gonna say that, or number two, the kid gonna be worse than the mama. Yeah, the kid gonna be worse than the mama. And we've seen that play out right in our face right now. It's so a lot of kids, small kids, young girls, they got 4 and 5 kids, 3 and 4 kids, by 3 and 4, 5 and 6 different baby daddies that get on housing, and then they grow up, and then they have those 3 or 4, 5, 6 kids being the YNs that don't want to listen to nothing, or being the young girls that want to be like Cardi B and all of them, and the process starts. We 4 or 5 generations in right now, guys. We are 4 or 5 generations in, straight up. Because how do you know that, Stock Sniper? Because I got family members and homeboys and homegirls that's in the situation. I got a sister that is a product of that system right now. And she's what? 63 years old. Well, she'll be 63 in November. And you can't tell her nothing. She's stuck in her ways. You can't tell her shit. She thinks she's the cat meow. Let me say that again. She thinks she's the cat meow. And if you go over her house, if you meet her and you don't know who she is personally, you'll think she got it going on. You'll think she got it going on. But she's living off taxpayers, which is a scam. Yes. If like in that situation, she's scamming. Why? Because for number one, her kids are grown. And she did not turn in to the government and let them know, hey, this kid graduated, okay? I'm gonna go down to, because they give you a 3-bedroom apartment. That's what she got. Well, one of her kids is 30. She still has the 3-bedroom apartment to this day. She got the 3-bedroom apartment. One kid is 30 and the other one is 20, and none of them live with her. They all doing their own thing. They all doing their own thing. She has the 3-bedroom apartment all to herself. Scamming. And you know what she does with the other 2 bedrooms? Rent them out. That's the wasteful spending that the government and the taxpayers are trying to cut right now. And guess what I'm telling y'all? It's just like my sister lived like that. That's just one example. I got cousins that live like that. I got homegirls that live like that. And guess what? I'm not the only one. I'm quite sure y'all out there too. If you inside of the black community, for sure, you know a lot of people that's like that too. And if you don't, it's because they're keeping it a secret. Only people that know is the immediate family. Like I would never go out and tell everybody about, the situation. I would never do that. I'm talking on the internet because nobody really knows who she is. But if she watching, she know that I'm talking about her. But that is an example of wasteful spending. That is money. That's wasted money that could come back to America, and like Elon Musk say, that can come back into our pockets. They can help get us out of debt. So that's why I'm really, really high on that. Make them, if you have a newborn baby and that baby daddy ain't around, guess what? We'll help you out with health, with child care, but your ass got to go to work. You got to go to work. You got to work a certain amount of hours, and the goal is to get you off of this housing. That's the goal, to get you off of the food stamps, because guess what a lot of them do? This is another thing, guys. She sell her food stamps, yes, and she still get food stamps. She still get food stamps, and she got a 30-year-old kid and a 20-year-old kid. And guess what? She sell her food stamps. See, that's what a lot of them do too. They get $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 worth of food stamps, and they sell them. Yes, they sell them. I'm quite sure a lot of people know that. But they sell the food stamps. That's what they do. You got 3 kids. I know here where I'm at, if you got 3 kids and you get food stamps, you're going to get about almost $1,000 worth of food stamps. And guess what they do? They sell them. Yes. You go into a lot of them apartments, guess what? Ain't no food in the icebox for the kids. I'm just keeping it real. Ain't no food in the icebox for the kids. And they sell the stamps. And you can imagine, a lot of junkies too. And that's another thing. 8 out of 10 of them are junkies. They don't want the food stamps. They want the money for the food stamps, and they buy drugs with them. And they sell the food stamps to the community drug dealers. That's what they do. A lot of people know that. If you don't know that, I'm telling you that right now. So that's why. And it's like that. Well, you might say, well, stock sniper, that's just you can't say there's a couple of people, bro. It's a lot of them. I don't know not one person, one girl that got kids. I don't know not one girl that got kids is actually a single mom. Another man is in that house, bro. Multiple men, in and out, 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 in and out. And guess what? They're in the clubs. They're in Club 5150 every weekend. They in Club 5150 like they balling. They in there with the celebrities like they balling. They got the Gucci, the Prada like they balling. Yes. A lot of them. And then the dudes, because if you're a single mom and you got multiple kids and you're on housing, you're not supposed. It is against the rules of housing to have a man live with you. You know that, right? And they come in and do inspections and make sure the man clothes ain't there. You can't have no evidence of the man living in the house. But guess what? The system is so backed up, they don't even come do the inspections no more like they used to in the 80s and the 90s. In the 80s and the 90s, they used to do what they call inspections. They come, the Social Security office, the welfare people would come to the people's houses and actually look for signs of a man being living inside of the house. They can't do that no more. Why? Because the system is so overwhelmed with people that are on welfare, people that are on food stamps and housing, that they can't come check to see if you even living up to the rules and the contract of housing. Yeah, that's so yes, a lot of that stuff need to be cut, bro. They already got their warnings. It's coming. It's coming, guys. But the people, which is a very few, a very few single moms with 3, 4 different kids are really without a man at that house. Very, very few, bro. I haven't seen one yet. I haven't seen a single mom with got 3 or 4 kids that don't have at least one man at that house. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. They all gonna have at least one man there. Why? Because even if she don't look good, it's gonna be a Pookie and a Ray Ray. It's gonna be a Pookie and a Ray Ray that need a place to stay. And guess what the Pookie and Ray Ray gonna do? They gonna do whatever they gotta do because it's free. It's free, a free roof over their head. Yep. And that's what's going on. So yeah, guys, the big beautiful bill is coming into play. And I like it. I like it a lot. So if you on that left side of America, you got to start thinking a little bit differently, right? You got to find something that you love to do. This is how you get out of the other side of America. This is how you get out of the concentration camp, which living in the projects, living up in that particular lifestyle, having your kids on housing all their life, and you ain't trying to use it as a crutch and come up out of it. That is a concentration camp. So how you get out of that? I'm gonna tell you right now. You find, while you on housing, not paying nothing, you figure out what you love to do. If you're a female, they always need nurses. They always need people in the medical field. Most females are great nurses because how they are wired. So find something you love to do. A lot of women like doing hair. Find something you love to do. Go to school for it. A nurse, easy way to get out. Go take up nursing. Know what I'm saying? And then get you a job. And then work. Save your money. Stop going to the clubs. Stop thinking you Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? Start wanting to do something better for your kid. Leave them Pookie and Ray Rays alone. Right? Leave them Pookie and Ray Rays alone. Because majority of them gonna disrespect you anyway. They gonna disrespect your house and you gonna disrespect your kids. And long as you let them run in and out of your house, doing you all kind of ways, guess what? They're gonna continue to continue to disrespect you. So what you gotta do is you gotta say, hey, I'm gonna change and I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna go to school for nursing. Passing out medication, medication aid, right? Well, you just pass medication out, you know what I'm saying, to the people in the nursing home, whatever the case may be. You gotta find something that you love to do. You gotta master it. And you gotta go to work. You know what I'm saying? You gotta change your mind. You gotta break those chains. You gotta break those chains, right? You gotta break those chains, and then you gotta learn how to earn, spend less, and make proper investments. Quit drinking beer every day. Quit drinking liquor every day. Quit smoking cigarettes every day, and do something. And do something. Because they're going to, more than likely, if you are getting over on the system, they gonna come for your housing and your food stamps, sis. And bro, if you living off that girl that's on welfare, which it's a lot of people that's doing that, living off these women. Guess what? And they're women on housing. And all they doing is spending their money, going to the club, spending their money on Jordans, spending their money on 10, 11 different things. Examples of the 10 or 11 things they got to get. They got to buy cigarettes every day. They got to buy weed every day. They got to buy a beer every single day, right? What else they got to do? They got to go to Jack in the Box every single day. And then guess what? That's 4 things. But guess what else? The girl needs cigarettes every day. The girl needs weed every day. The girl needs pills. Yeah, I forgot about the pills. He needs pills every day. Because guess what? 8 out of 10 of these people that I'm talking about, 8 out of 10 of them are on weed, cigarettes, or Black and Milds, vapes, or all three of the above. What else? They got to go to Jack in the Box and Whataburger every single day because the woman don't cook. Ain't no food in the refrigerator. Why? Because she done sold them to the dude who sell them the weed and the pills. Yep, they got to do pills. That's normal. 8 out of 10. And if it's a man and a woman, a boy, a girl, a YN and a YG, guess what? All those habits apply. Cigarettes, vape, Black and Mild, weed, pills, Jack in the Box Whataburger. That's 6. That's 6 habits right there per person. And that's not an exaggeration. That is very much accurate. That's where all their money going, bro. And guess what? They don't care. Why they don't care, Stock Sniper? They got free there's not a worry in their world. They ain't got to pay no rent. They ain't got to go to work. Whatever money they come up on, those are the 6 things. That's the 6 things that they got to do every single day. That ain't including going to the club. That's not including Jordans, red bottoms, and the designer clothes that they gotta wear because they gotta look good when they go to Carol's tonight, which is Thursday night. No, today is Wednesday. When they go to Carol's or Club 5150. Yeah, right now they're getting dressed. Right now they're getting dressed to get ready to go to Club 5150 that's open right now. Yep, open right now as we speak. It's open. And guess what? All the girls that's on housing and welfare is at that place right now, looking like they just got off a 9 to 5. So they are stuck in a fantasy world, guys. And they ain't got no worry in the world. That, my friend, is scamming the government, bro. That's a scam. So, but there are maybe a little bit of few. I haven't seen none. And I'll be outside. I've been outside for decades. I've very, very, very few women that have 2 or 3 kids, no man running in and out of the house, and they really ain't got no help, and they really ain't got nobody. I haven't seen that before, bro. Never. I'm talking about a YG that's 20, 30, 40, even my age 50. I've not seen one that has 3 kids, they on housing, they on food stamps, they on welfare, in other words, and they don't have no man running, they don't have no man at that house. I haven't seen one yet. And that is against the rules to have men living with you and you're on housing. So that means that everybody's going to get kicked off housing, or the dude got to go. So if you're a YN, you got to be taking notes. If you're a YN right now and you living with a woman on housing, I pray to God you got you a skill, bro. Because if all you're doing is petty street hustling, and in your petty street hustling, you are buying cigarettes, not just for you but for her. You buying Black and Milds, not just for you but for her. You buying I already said cigarettes. You buying weed, not just for you but for her. You're buying pills, which is fentanyl, not just for you but for her. And then, of course, if you go to Jack in the Box, you got to bring her something back too, and the kids. That's 5. If you're doing that with your money every single day, you're not spending less and investing. You better take notes right now. You better be, whatever you're doing, you better be spending less right now, and you better be getting prepared, because at any given second, they can cut off that housing, and I know you're gonna leave her alone. Why? Because you ain't got the ability to take care of the woman with the 3 different kids that ain't even yours. I'm going in today. I'm going in. But then that's exactly what it is. And that is not what I'm saying. It is not an exaggeration. It's facts. It's facts. And then they got it so that if you qualify for housing, these days you can get a nice 2-story house on housing. Yeah, you can get that's why it's so much crime in the middle class communities now, because they gave them ability to get out of the apartment and move in $1 million house. I've seen that too. You qualify for a 3-bedroom house. You got 3 kids. And once you live in an apartment for so long, it qualifies you. Look like Red Bank, New Jersey. Now, Ivan Curry, I'm in Texas. I'm deep down south. But I've seen this. A female get a housing check, right? You gotta live in an apartment first. Once you live in an apartment, you gotta stay in the apartment. I don't know what it is now, but you gotta stay in the apartment for a couple of years. Once you stay in the apartment for a couple of years, then they upgrade your housing certificate, and then you can go move anywhere you want to move. So I knew one girl. She was living in a rich house. The house was a 4-bedroom house. She qualified for 3-bedroom housing, but because it was a 4-bedroom, all she had to pay was the difference, which was number $45 at the time. So she was on housing. Just imagine this for a second. She was on housing with 3 kids, 3 different baby daddies. Her housing certificate got upgraded, and then she could go move in any house that she want to, long as the landlord accept housing. Well, she found one in a rich community, nothing but $1 million homes. Well, the house was a 4-bedroom home. Housing covered the rent, but because it was a 4-bedroom, she had to pay the extra, which was nothing but $45. And guess what happened? You couldn't tell her shit. You couldn't tell her nothing. On housing, living in a $1 million home, brick house, living it up, doing what? Smoking cigarettes every day, popping pills, smoking weed, getting her back blowed out, selling her food stamps, all the above. Not working, waking up at 11 or 12 o'clock, watching Young and the Restless every morning. Yes, that's what is going on even right now to this day. A lot of them people that y'all see that's living in them houses in them nice neighborhoods, them people on housing, bro. Majority of them on housing, and they ain't gonna tell you that house is being paid for by the taxpayers' dollars. They ain't gonna tell you that. They want you to think that they are balling, right? They want you to think that. Yep, that's how they do it. So yes, a lot of that stuff, bro, need to get cut, bro. Yeah, I'm saying it right now because I got a sister. She's about to be 63. She's stuck in that concentration camp that I'm talking about right now. And you can't go to work. You think that girl that I'm telling you about that's got that house is gonna go to work, bro? Hell no. Why she ain't gonna go to work, Stock Sniper? Because if she go to work, then you gotta pay rent. It goes up. And I know a lot of girls, bro, that be on housing and welfare. When it's time to get a job, they will quit the job so their rent won't go up every month. I know a lot of people know what I'm talking about. So their rent won't go up every month. I've seen that in real life. A girl working as a security guard job. They find out that she's working. Well, now you gotta pay rent. The rent goes up depending on how much you make. Now you gotta pay rent, right? She don't wanna pay no rent, so guess what she did? She quit that job. That's what welfare, that's how welfare trains your mind and puts you in the modern day American concentration camp. That's how. It's all set up like that. No requirements. No requirement for her, okay, you on housing? Now, ain't no way you could be able to get $1 million house, bro. Ain't no way. But that's what the case was. And that right there is a true story. True story. And I know it's more of the people right now. Your friend who you think got it going on ain't telling you that they own housing. You wondering how they are able to live in a nice house like that? It's because they are scamming the government up under the table. The system is so old. Elon Musk told us that. That system is so old. It's like 1950 and 1960. It's not up to date. It's not 2020 or even 2000. Nothing AI is about the system, which is the welfare system. None of that is upgraded, bro. You go to your local welfare office and you will see what I'm talking about. Go look at those computers in there. Go look at that stuff. That stuff is outdated, bro. It's outdated. So a lot of things, because the system is 1960, 1970, 1980, even 1990. It's so outdated that it's too much pressure on the electronic system, the data of the system. It's not up to date. So a lot of people are doing all these things and the system is not even up to date. And they do that for I'm gonna say it. The Democrat system, they do that for votes. That's where all their votes come from, guys. That's where all their votes come from. Yes, I said it. That's where all the Democratic votes come from. That's the reason why. If you listen and really pay attention to the Democrats, you really listen and pay attention to all of them that's up there that be talking, they are targeting the system of the people that backs what I'm just talking about right now. That's who's gonna vote for them. A whole lot of blacks that is inside of that system that don't want that system to go away. That don't want that system to go away. That's why they don't like Elon. When Elon Musk came out with that Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, which that's what it's all about, they didn't like that. They didn't like it at all. But bro, what people got to realize is that the way the system is, if the system keep going like that, our grandkids, great-grandkids, and great-great-great-grandkids won't have a country, bro. America will be a third world country. But they also got it where nobody thinks that far. Nobody thinks that far, bro. Just like I come out here and run 6 miles every single day, nobody has the patience to even walk 6 miles every day. Nobody has the patience to even walk 2 miles every single day, non-stop, no matter what. No matter if it's raining, or if it's snowing, or in 100-degree heat. See, one thing that I found out about being dedicated to something, running 6 miles every day in the heat like I do, that builds so much strength, so much character. It builds your mind, body, and soul that I can do anything that's reasonable. I gotta throw that in there. Because the people in the back, they don't, you gotta make sure you say that. But because the people in the back, they don't understand that that should be understood. What's understood don't have to be explained, bro. That's common sense. That's just like me saying, I can do anything, I can be whatever I want to be, and I want to be an NBA basketball player. Come on now. I shouldn't have to say within reason. That should be common sense. So, but I understand that a lot of things that are common ain't really all that common in 2025, bro. That's the reason why the system of America, back to the topic, that's the reason why the system of America got it where the attention span is real small. Most people, bro, think about this for a second, guys. Most people can't stay on the same job for 10 years straight. Not even, man, in 2025, most people can't stay on the same job for 2 years, let alone 10. Why? Because they attention span, their patience, their mental attitude is so short. Most people don't know how to have a normal conversation. Most people don't know how to agree to disagree within a conversational realm. Most people don't know how to do that, bro. Why? Because the system of America and this internet is shortening our attention spans. It's shortening our attention spans. They want you. They don't want you with an open mind. They want you with a closed mind. Why? Because closed minds don't get fed. That's the system of America's way of a concentration camp. That's America's way to try to make your attention span really short. Most people can't watch an hour video, bro. That's why the music, the songs are getting shorter. The movies are getting shorter. Because most people can't watch an 8-minute video. They can't. Wait, let me take that back. The only way they can watch an 8-minute video if it's about mess and gossip and bullshit and bubblegum. That's the only way. They want you right there. They want you right there where you are entertained by bullshit and bubblegum and mess and gossip and arguing and fighting. They want you right there. If you just think about it, it makes sense. It makes sense. They want you right there. They don't want you earning, spending less, and making proper investments that you can pass down to you and your kids and everything like that. And also making proper steps in your life so you can retire at 50 years old like me. They don't want that, guys. They want me working at 65 years old, at 70 years old. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want you in the position where you have to. Now, if you want to, that's different. If you want to work till you die, that's great. But if you don't want to work today, they don't want you to have the options. In other words, they don't want you to have options. They want you to have one option. That's to work till you die. Not because you want to, but because you have to. That's what they want, guys. Just peep the scene. Pay attention. And they want you spending all your money. If you was on the live this morning, specifically what they said, okay, now I'm finna go to another element. Yeah, I'm going in today. Like the CPI. The CPI was came out good today, right? The reason why it came up good, because people are spending less money. They don't like when people are spending less money. They don't like that, guys. They want you spending more money. They want you spending more money. They want that. That's called economy. When they say soft economy, that means ain't nobody spending no money. They want you spending all your money. That's what they want. That's what they want. And because when we spending all our money, when we acting like junkies and spending all our money, guess what that does? Now they can put whatever price they want to put on whatever they selling. They can put their own price on it. Pay attention. If there's no money being spent, guess what's going to happen? They're going to lower the prices. So the reason why inflation is not going up right now is not because of Donald Trump, bro. It's not because of Donald Trump. I said it. It's the reason is because people don't have the money to spend no more, and they're not spending it. And guess what? As a business owner, I can't let my bread spoil. I can't let my meat go bad. So I gotta lower the prices for the people who come and buy it. If the prices are high, nobody's gonna buy it, bro. That's in anything and anywhere. On a small level, whatever level you want to put it on. If your product is not selling, you can't raise the prices. They really ain't gonna buy it. Then what? Then you go out of business. So we gotta wake up, bro. We gotta wake up. We gotta pay attention to what Donald Trump is saying. That's why I go live and I break it down to the lowest compound, because I want people to wake up, bro. It's the time to get rich right now. It's the time to go from broke to living paycheck to paycheck, from living paycheck to paycheck to the middle class. Then you graduate from the middle class. Now you're rich. And then you go from rich to financial wealth. Not just monetarily, not just with investments, but also with your mind, body, soul, and your health. All together. And you teach it to your kids and grandkids. And you teach it to other people. That's the thing. 50% of Americans don't have an investment account, bro. Shout out to Donald Trump for putting in that Trump account, which I'm talking about right now. Trump accounts. Trump accounts. That is huge. And in my opinion, that's the best part of that bill. The best part of the big, beautiful bill. But the thing is, will the system of America let it pass, bro? See, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The system of America, bro, they don't want you investing into the stock market, bro. They don't want that. The system of America don't want that. It's not designed for every American to be investing into the stock market. I ain't talking about no 401k plans and all that crap. I'm talking about buying and selling your own shares of stock, running your own portfolio, learning that you can make money on the market if it goes up or if it goes down. They don't want that, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. The hedge funds, the professional traders don't want that either. They were so upset when Robinhood got launched, bro. They was upset. They don't like new investors, bro. They don't. The professional investors, they don't want us investing into that stock market. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want control over if you are investing into the stock market, they want control over your money. They want to be the ones to do the investing for you. That's why they don't give a damn about a 401k plan. Why? Because somebody, bro, I'm going in. Because the professionals are over the 401k plan system, bro. So all the money, and yes, a company will match it. Because all the money that you put in, guess what they're doing? They're making money on the stock market. If it goes up or if it goes down. That's what they're doing. Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's why they want you investing in the 401k plan, which is great, by the way. If your job offers a 401k plan, you got to be invested in the 401k plan. But also, you must be learning the game yourself. Then you covered all the way around the board. You covered all the way around the board. You covered. Not only are you investing in your company's 401k plan and pension plan, all the benefits that they give you as being a loyal employee. They give you benefits for being a great guy. But then they also know this. Most people is not going to stay on their job, like I just said about 30 minutes ago. Most people ain't staying on that job no 10 years, bro. They know that already. Today, these days, ain't nobody staying on no job for no 10 years. They ain't staying down till they come up. But I'm telling you right now, find something that you love to do. Get on you a good 9 to 5 job with great benefits. Learn the stock market. Everybody make a earn. That's nothing. Making an earn, that's nothing. Everybody does that. But the main thing people don't do, they don't spend less and they don't invest. That's what they don't do. They don't spend less and they don't invest. Spending less and in making proper investments is the cornerstone to building wealth and getting out of the rat race and being able to retire like me at 50 years old or earlier. In 2025, with this blueprint, you guys should be retired at 35 years old. I said it. In this day and time, with the phone, with the stock market, with the internet, ain't no way. You should be retired at 35 years old, bro. If you want to. In other words, by the time you turn 35, you should have the ability to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. You on that job because you want to be there, not because you have to be there. It's no way that in 2025, there's no way that a youngster shouldn't be retiring at 35 years old. If you spending less and you investing into the stock market, proper investments, you should be retiring at 35 years old, doing what you want to do. I said it, and that's a fact. Imagine, what stock sniper? That don't sound right. Let's imagine, if you 20 years old, right? Perfect example. If you 20 years old, you find something that you love to do. A truck driver like I was, or whatever the case may be, and you going out working, making a good earn, and you are not going and spending reckless with your money. Instead of spending reckless, you are making proper investments. Netflix, Tesla, Nvidia, Bitcoin, XRP. Those are 5 proper investments right there that if anybody made in the year 2000 or the year 2005 or 2010 or 2015, you are financially free right now. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to keep working, keep working. You're working because you love the job, not because you have to be there. See, that's a difference. It's 2025. With those 5 proper investments right there, anybody that made those 5 proper investments around 2015 or 2014, especially Bitcoin, is living it up right now. Family is living it up. Doing what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. In other words, they are retired. So, with a little bit of knowledge and the ability of this phone, a good skill that's making a nice amount of money with investing. Let me tell you something, guys. You cannot save your way to financial freedom. You can't do it, bro. It'll take a whole lifetime unless you ain't got no bills. But if you got bills, which majority of people do, and they got habits, spending habits, which majority of people do, you're not going to save your way to the top. It's just not going to happen. I want the quickest way to the top. I want the quickest way. And the quickest way is spending less and making proper investments, and then teaching it to my kids and grandkids so I can do what? Do what I want to do, how I want to do it, and when I want to do it. And the Trump accounts, which is very, very huge. The Trump accounts, well, they're giving your kid, a newborn baby, giving a kid, your newborn kid, and a investment account soon as they're born. That's huge. All you got to do is put in it every week, every week, every week, every week. Use that investment account as a savings account. Use that investment account as a savings account. It's not going to get touched for your kid. That right there, that method right there is how I'm able to retire at 50. My daughters are able to retire right now if they choose to. Why? Because they already been set up and they know the game. They're able to set up, retire right now if they want to, but they love their job. That's the position you want to be in, bro. You don't want to be behind the 8 ball, bro. You don't want to be behind the 8 ball, bro. You don't. You don't. And guess what? It don't take long. It don't take long. In 2025, it don't take long. It don't. All it takes is a little bit of knowledge, the shifting of the mind, and putting a little bit of work in. With the phone, it's a little bit of work. Why you say it's a little bit of work, Stock Sniper? Because when I first got introduced to investing, you had to look in the newspaper, bro. Wasn't no apps. Wasn't no phone as a computer. Wasn't none of that. Wasn't YouTube where you connect, where you can connect with like-minded people. It wasn't none of that, bro. Thank God for my parents and grandparents that knew the game, that forced the game to me. Yes, they forced it. That's why I love the Trump account so much, bro. That's why I love it so much. There's not a president ever that'll put investing in front of your face. It's not one. It's not one. It's not one, bro. It's not one president that will take the red tape off of the hood, which is called opportunity zones. There's no way that any one of these presidents in the system of America will make your community, your neighborhood, them bandos, make them valuable. That if you have the proper information, you can, the block you stand on, you can go and buy it for a cheap price. It's not a president. It's not a politician. It's not a person in the system of America would have did what Donald Trump did, y'all. How do you know, Stock Sniper? Because I took advantage of it. I bought my whole block. I bought my whole block. And I did what? I flipped it. When I transferred from the left side of America to the right side of America, I sold it. To who? One of my best friends, one of my homeboys. I kept it inside of the community when I had all kind of offers that didn't look like me, that wanted it. But I declined it, and I took less money. That's why I'm so, you gotta be embedded. Just think, majority of the people in the neighborhood, bro, didn't know anything about the opportunity zone, bro. They did not. They didn't. They didn't even know. This was way back in 2017, 2018, back last time when Donald Trump was the president. Nobody knew that Donald Trump, the First Step Act, opportunity zones, when he put that into law, that allowed a community hood guy to buy his block if you had any kind of snap about yourself, you bought your block. So it's happening, and it's happening again right now, bro. I told everybody on these lives, I say, man, at the end of 2024, I said, man, y'all better get ready, bro. Get your mind together. Get your mind right. Change your mind. Quit worrying about these rappers. Quit worrying about the stuff that don't matter. And start building. It's the time is right now. And guess what, guys? It's not too late. We're barely 4 or 5 months in. Donald Trump is a business investor, all the above type of president. So guess what? The place where you want to be an investor. You want to be making investments, the proper ones. You got to learn the stock market. You got to learn these things so you can go from living paycheck to paycheck to the middle class, from the middle class to being rich. And rich looks different to everybody. What looks rich to me might not be what rich is to you. Everybody's freedom price is different. You got to you have to understand what your freedom price is, what freedom looks like to you. That's what each and every person got to figure out, what freedom looks like to you. And guess what? If you spending money every single day, if you got to have cigarettes, Black and Miles, vapes, Jack in the Box, weed, Percocets, liquor, Jordans, on and on and on, it's going to be very hard to make yourself financially free. Listen to the OG. It's going to be very, very difficult, bro. Hard. But once you understand this, what I'm telling you, this changed my life, bro. I had to leave from the left side of America and had to come to the right side of America. Now I look at shit different. Only thing, me, I was born into it. I was born in investing. I was born into this. But it's 2025. All it takes is a person to snap the finger and make a snap your finger and change your mind. And start educating yourself and putting the work in. And quit worrying about all this other bullshit that they trying to put in front of our faces that don't matter. The Diddy trial, it does not matter. The 2 YouTubers that got murdered does not matter, bro. It don't. It don't matter. Especially if you live in paycheck to paycheck. It shouldn't even matter at all. And we already know 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now. And it ain't because people ain't making no money. This is not about a job or making $1 off a job. Everybody earns. Everybody make a earn. That's not nothing to cheer about. Everybody works, bro. Majority of Americans work. But what majority of Americans don't do is spend less and make proper investments and teach it to their kids and grandkids and leave something down to their kids and grandkids so they name and their life will be everlasting. That's everlasting life, bro. When I can sit here and talk about my grandfather and touch the land that this man left that was born in the 1800s. My great-grandfather and my grandfather, World War veteran, that left investments, that left stocks, right? That's going down generations to generations to generations. That's able to help not just me, but my kids and grandkids retire early if we choose to. Yeah, I'm going in, guys, because it's serious. It's serious, bro. It's serious. It's as serious as 1, 2, 3. That's how serious it is, guys. It's serious. Can you tell me thoughts? I don't know what that means. You gotta make it make sense. Frank, I appreciate you for joining me. You know, when I go in on these walk downs, I go in, bro. But the thing is, guys, we gotta stop being so caught up in the bullshit and the bubble gum. Sometimes you might have to unsubscribe, unfollow a lot of that stuff, and subscribe and follow a lot of people, a lot of creators that can help change your mind and what you listen to and how you live your life. Because the perfect time, bro, is right now. And you got to understand what I've been explaining all this time. They want you spending a lot of money. CPI came out today, all on the news. You gotta understand the code words. They're not gonna say, like I say, people are spending less money. They're not gonna say it like that, guys. They're not. Because if you know, you know. If you're on the right side of America, you know exactly what they mean. That's when I went live today. I broke it down. And I told y'all exactly. When they say soft economy, I told you exactly what that means. The CPI data came out good. Don't get me wrong. I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump helped put me where I'm at right now. I ain't gonna lie. With the policies and the laws and the stuff that he put in, with no handouts, with putting in the work. If you know the information, you got to put the work in, you got to pull the trigger, right? If I wasn't earning, spending less, if I wasn't earning and spending less, whenever Donald Trump came out with that First Step Act and the opportunity zones, I would not have been in position to buy my block, bro. I wouldn't have been in that position. Why? Because I'd have been smoking weed every day. I'd have been drinking every day. I'd have been tricking with hoes every weekend, going to the strip club, throwing away all the money, worrying about things that don't even matter. And the main thing, my mama didn't tell me. If my mama didn't tell me about investing, but if my mama and my parents and my grandparents and my great-grandparents didn't push us down that road, my mind wouldn't even been there to understand what an opportunity zone is and how to benefit off of the opportunity zone. The thing about the opportunity zone, that hood that we was in, right? Because of the drugs and everything that was going on, the property value was super, super low. Why? Because nobody wanted to live around a crime-infested neighborhood, bro. Nobody wants to stay there. So what that does, if nobody's buying homes in that community, guess what happens? The price value goes down. What I'm talking about right now. Nobody's spending no money, so of course the CPI data is gonna be hot. Not because of what Donald Trump did, it's because people are not spending any money no more. That's why. So I knew, and what that opportunity zone, the First Step Act, when he took the red tape, that's what he called it. He took the red tape from around the community, and guess what it does? What it did? It automatically 10x'd the value of the property, bro. It automatically 10x'd the property. So guess what? That bando that I bought, that the game that I gave my homeboy, see how we did it? It was a group of us, right? And with me, already educated, already knew what it was. We took advantage. So when I knew that was going to happen, guess what I did? I'd already went to the county, bought a bando for pennies on the dollar, and sat on it. Until when? I rented it out. I did a little work to it. I rented it out, put it on housing. Until when? Until the opportunity zone got passed by Donald Trump, and he took off the red tape, got taken off the hood. And guess what happened? That property went from a $30,000 property to a $150,000 property overnight. That's what happened, guys. That's what happened. And guess what? I didn't sell it automatically right then. I kept renting it. I kept doing this, that, and the third. But then I made a switch in my mind. Nothing more powerful than a changed mind. I realized that I had outgrown my surroundings, bro. I realized I had outgrown my surroundings. and I switched from the left side of America that I talk about all the time. I came over to this right side of America. And guess what? When you change your mind, right? When you change your mind, guess what happens? When you change your mind, you start realizing you got to change people, places, and things. That's what happened, guys. So I no longer wanted to even be over there anymore. Yes, I didn't want to go collect rent no more. I didn't want to do it because I got turned off by that. And once, when you change, bro, and you have a renewing of the mind, you don't want to be around certain type of people and certain type of environments. You don't. So when I changed my mind, right? When God changed my mind and told me, bro, you got to do something different. Guess what I did? I say, look, I sold it all. And the best thing about it, I didn't put it for sale and let anybody come buy it, right? I told my homeboys, the same ones that I gave them this investing game to, look, bro, I ain't gonna be coming around here like that. I ain't gonna have the time to be coming, picking up rent money, checking this and checking that. In other words, I'm ready to move around. So I sold it. I could have went and sold it and got top dollar. I could have went and got top dollar, you know, if I'd have sold it to the right side of America. But no, I wanted to give the opportunity to one of my good homeboys who I grew up with since knee-high to a grasshopper. I wanted to give them the opportunity to build wealth for them and their family. And I sold it and moved on. See, that's the power of investing. That's the power of knowing what's going on. That's the power of educating yourself, not just you, but your kids and grandkids. If my mom would never have put that investment book in my hand at 8 years old, I graduated a PhD in finance and investing in real estate in the stock market before I turned 10 years old. I said it. Yes. I didn't have to go to Rice University. I didn't have to go to TSU. I didn't have to go to Harvard. Why? Because I had the parents that was hands on hand, all hands on deck, teaching me about life, teaching me about the system of America, teaching me about the American dream, right? The real American dream. See, some people's American dream is credit cards, a mortgage, what else? Student loan debt, all the way up to the ceiling. No, that's not the real American dream, guys. The real American dream is this, very simple. Find something you love to do. Make good money from that skill that you know how to do. Be the best skilled worker you could be. Spend less as possible. Make proper investments. Own your car outright. Own your house outright. Or minimal bills, small bills you can get. That is the American dream, bro. That's the American dream. That other stuff they talking about, I don't know nothing about that. But the American dream that my grandparents and my great-grandparents taught us is to find a skill that you love to do. Master it. Go to work. Earn. Spend less money as possible. Make proper investments. Teach it to your kids. Teach it to your grandkids. Pass it down. Because life is short, right? But if you do those things as a parent, as a grandparent, guess what's going to happen? Just like I talk about my great-grandpa and my grandpa, every chance I get, that picture that's on the wall that y'all see, he will forever live. Life is short, bro. But everlasting life comes through what you put out to your kids and grandkids, your nieces and nephews. What you teach them, what you leave them is most important. And guess what? Your life, your legacy will last on. Like my great-great-grandfather, his life lasts on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Everybody knows him. And we never seen him. I never seen my great-grandpa. All I know is what he did. I can touch what he did. I can touch what he did, right? I can see his picture because there wasn't no internet and lives and stuff like that. I could hear stories, and I could keep talking about him. Man, he's a hell of a guy, and I can tell everybody about him. Guess what? His life will live forever and ever and ever and ever. That's my goal. Thank God for YouTube and the internet, because guess what? I can make these videos like this. All this that I'm saying and I'm doing. I don't care if it's 1,000 people, 2,000 people, or nobody in here. Guess what? In the back of my mind and in my subconscious mind, I know that my grandkids, my great-grandkids, my great-great-grandkids, my great-nieces, my great-nephews, all great cousins, 2, 3, third cousin, fourth cousin, fifth cousin, 10th cousin, down the line, 10 times my grandson, my granddaughter. Guess what? They'll be able to see me, and they'll be able to understand what I'm talking about, and they'll be able to. My name and my legacy and my face and my words will live on, just like my great-grandfather that's on that wall that y'all see every single morning. Thank God for Google and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all these social media apps. See, we gotta use this shit, bro, for the right thing. We gotta use it for the right thing. What's up, Don Julio? We gotta use it for the right thing. We got to use it for the right thing. And with that being said, I'm in this live, guys. Tonight, we will be going back live. We got a lot of things to talk about, bro. We got a game tonight. We got more things to talk about, right? The game, you know, we like to be entertained, but we got to keep our mind on the prize. We got to talk about those Trump accounts for the newborns. We got to talk about spending less and making proper investments to pass down to you and your family. And also, so you can retire like me. I'm not even 50, I'm 50 years old and I'm retired. I can do what I want, when I want, how I want. If I want to go back to work, I can. If I don't got to if I don't want to. I got 2 daughters that are already retired. They're retired, yes. They do what, when, and how, and where. If they want to work, they work. If they don't, they don't. Why? Because it's set up like that. Not just through me, but from my upline, from my great-grandfather to my grandfather to me. And it keeps going. And it goes all the way down. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Till the next one, which will be later. We will be going live again later on for the basketball game. We're trying to see if the Indiana Pacers gonna win or if OKC gonna do their thing. So with that being said, I love and appreciate y'all. 704 Wall Street is my block. 704 Wall Street is my block. Earn, spend less, and make proper investments. With that being said, this is the one and only Stock Sniper. Till later, 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm out.